Protesters calling for a ceasefire in Gaza filled the rotunda in a congressional office building today. The protesters were part of hundreds of Jewish Americans and allies who marched from the National Mall to the Cannon office building, which is next to the Capitol building. Somehow protesters were able to get inside carrying flags and banners. Most were also wearing shirts that read "Jews say ceasefire now" and "not in our name." Police did take some protesters into custody. It's not clear what charges they could face, if any. Meantime, President Joe Biden tonight is returning to the U.S. after a short visit to Israel, where meeting with families of victims of the Hamas attack. Says he vows to back Israel. The president also says people in Gaza who are running out of food and water may get help within days. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
Amid seething tensions in the Middle East, President Biden making a brief but politically potent visit to Israel.
You are not alone.
Reaffirming U.S. support for Israel's fight after the brutal Hamas terror attack and seeking to contain the bloody conflict following a devastating blast at a hospital in Gaza that killed hundreds of civilians and roiled anger and agony in surrounding countries where protests erupted. While Israel and Hamas trade blame for the hospital explosion, President Biden pointing to the U.S. intelligence assessment that Israel is not responsible.
I was outraged and saddened by the enormous loss of life yesterday in the hospital in Gaza.
Late today, the president announced an agreement with Egypt to allow humanitarian aid through the Rafah border crossing into Gaza.
He agreed that what he would do is open the gate to do two things. One, let up to 20 trucks through to begin with.
The president says that aid could roll in by Friday. He also announced $100 million in new U.S. humanitarian assistance for Gaza and the West Bank.
The suffering is increasing every day. We see streams of people walking south, and then the question is, where do they go?
President Biden comforting survivors and families of the victims killed in Israel, sharing emotional stories of loss and hope as the U.S. vows support to bring home hostages held in Gaza and ease the raw suffering in a region on a knife's edge. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.